Oracle HCM Cloud is a full stack suite of SaaS applications with 24 different modules, and we can divide them into 3 different categories. We have talent, we have payroll, we have human resources. Let's have a look at the different modules available. These are the 24 different modules that helps users to manage different stages of an employee lifecycle. Anything from recruiting talents, screening, hiring, onboarding, managing time and absence, managing payroll, compensation and benefit, managing performance and review of its employees. And all of these 24 different ones are then allocated to a set of different cloud services. Oracle HCM Cloud licensing of services is not based on consumption or pay for what you use, but the costs are based upon how many licenses that you require. Oracle calls this non-metered cloud services, but in reality, it's another word for licenses. Oracle HCM Cloud have 3 different license types. First, we have hosted name user, we have hosted employee, and we have hosted environments. Let's start talking about hosted name user and Oracle's definition of it. Hosted name user, which is defined as an individual authorized by you to access the hosted service, regardless of whether the individual is accessing the hosted service at any given time. When counting the number of licenses required for HCM Cloud, it is important to note here, if you grant a user access to a cloud service that is licensed by a hosted name user, you need to license that user regardless if they're using the service or not. So it's important that when you're creating users, that you are not providing them access to cloud services that you have not purchased. If you're sharing usernames, you need to license all the users that have access to this username and password. Hosted employee is the license metric that we see most organizations misunderstanding and not purchasing enough licenses for. And we can read the definition together. Hosted employee is defined as 1, all of your full-time, part-time, and temporary employees. And 2, all of your agents, contractors, and consultants, where such agents, contractors, and consultants have access to, use of, or are tracked by the programs. The quantities of the licenses required is determined by the number of hosted employees and not the actual number of users. Let's pause here again. It's the same as with hosted name user. You need to have a license regardless if they're actively using it or not. And Oracle is also saying here that yes, you need to license them if they have access to, but also if they are tracked by the HCM Cloud. For example, if you have contractors that you're using HCM Cloud and making payments for, you need to have a license for the contractor. Let's continue. In addition, if you elect to outsource any business function to another company, the following must be counted for purposes of determining the number of hosted employees. All of the other company's full-time employees, part-times, temporary employees, agent, contractors, and consultants that are providing the outsourcing services and have access to, use of, or are tracked by the programs. The base cloud service is licensed with hosted employee. Quantity of licenses required is determined by the number of hosted employees and not the actual users. That means that in order to calculate how many licenses required, we need to count all full-time, all part-time, all temporary, all contractors, and all consultants into the hosted employee number. And it's an enterprise-wide metric. You cannot only purchase this licenses for the users that are going to actively use HCM Cloud. You need to count the full number and then purchase the particular cloud service for everyone that falls into this definition. Just this specific issue is where we've had multiple clients who have purchased Oracle HCM Cloud and have undercounted the number of hosted employees that they need to acquire. They may have purchased Oracle HCM based cloud service, which has an hosted employee license metric for let's say they purchased 5,000 users, but when you add up the numbers and looking at the definition, they should have purchased 25,000. But don't worry, the Oracle Cloud Portal will detect all of this for you. Then you might ask, is it important to calculate before you purchase if Oracle's going to find out anyway? Well, here's a couple of reasons. You should understand how much you're going to invest in HCM Cloud, budgeting reasons. The more you're purchasing upfront with Oracle, the better terms you're able to negotiate with Oracle, contract terms, pricing. It is not uncommon that Oracle will not inform you in the first years of your Oracle Cloud contract. They often approach organizations that are in the later stage of their Oracle Cloud contract. Sometimes it's short, like 12 months before your renewal is up. Oracle contacts you and shows you essentially an audit report where they have extracted all the usage report and already have the data that you actually owe them many more millions. And you might have had expectations of lowering your cost. Instead, it might actually triple. The third license metric is hosted environment. A hosted environment is the environments that you negotiate with Oracle at the time of purchase. You need a production environment, but you also need to assess how many non-production environments do you need. They're quite pricey. The cost of each environment is $75,000 if you need additional environments. It is not uncommon that organizations could have as many as 5 to 10 non-production environments. And if we use the example of 5, for example, if you would need 5 additional non-production environments, that would be 5 multiplied by $75,000 a year. And we're looking at $350,000 annually for just non-production environments. And if you have signed a 5-year cloud contract, $350,000 multiplied by 5 is $1.8 million. If you're looking for ways on how to optimize your spend in Oracle Cloud, looking at the non-production environment is usually a good way to start.